Hello everybody, and thank you for joining me. This is Ciara from Ciara T Designs, and today I have my September bullet journal spreads to share with you, so let's jump right in. So as always, I do like to do the calendar first. I just find it the best way to start my functional pages. I like to see the calendar. It's kind of one I flip back to. I put all my appointments in there. It's just super useful, and this is always the most decorated spread that I do as well throughout my journal, just because I need a lot of functional pages. So I do kind of end up going that direction. So I've laid out September mostly on the right hand side, and I like to use 6x6 for my dot grid for this. I just find that it looks really nice and then gives me a lot of room left to decorate as well. And September's an interesting shape as well, so I had fun trying to decorate around this as well later. Now bear with me, when I created this, I was still in the middle of a reno. I didn't have all of my things. So you're going to see me bust out different stuff than I would usually use. Like I wouldn't usually use this T-square ruler. Normally I use my metal ruler because this actually has like divots in the plastic. So it doesn't give me a nice straight line. But we're working with what I could get my hands on, and it worked out okay. And I think that it turned out really pretty. I think I say it every month, but I have to say this is definitely one of my favorite spreads once decorated that I've created in my bullet journal for this year. And I actually only have room for one more spread in this journal specifically. So I'm going to get October in here, and then I have to use a different journal. So that'll be interesting for just the last 2 months of the year, but what do you do? So I busted out a 8x8 paper pad that I had on hand. This has been in my stash a while and I love it, but I hadn't used it. And on the back of the cover page, it had this beautiful, it kind of looks like a tile design, and it's stunning. So luckily, this is the Craft O'Clock Sunset Mood 8x8 paper pack. And in it, you get 2 of each design. So I was really lucky because I got to use both of them to make this page work. Because of course, this is an A5 journal. So obviously one sheet of 8x8 wouldn't fit across the whole of my calendar. And for whatever reason, I am really bad at leaving white space. I love to decorate things to the nines. Like, I don't know why I just can't stop myself. I don't know. I struggle with white space a little bit, to be honest with you. So I'm just a more is more style creator. And I do have my slide trimmer here because you can see that I can easily go and cut out just whatever I need to in the design. So you'll see me cut out squares, you'll see me cut around things. This is just because I am able to, kind of line things up the way I want them, and then just cut out that small area. So you're going to see here in a minute, I'm going to cut this strip that I'm holding down into kind of a rectangle around the 1st of September, because like I said, it's kind of a funny shape. So I did kind of have to alter it quite a bit, but I think it turned out really great. Like I said, I don't know, there's something about like a tealy color and like a golden yellow that just looks stunning. It's so eye-catching. Like it's just really, really beautiful. So I love how this turned out. And of course, I did have to bust out my stickers for this spread as well, because you know that I cannot help myself. And the whole reason I started designing stickers was because of my bullet journal setups. So if you're not into bullet journaling, but you still really want to purchase something for my shop, just wait. I do have other designs coming that aren't specifically bullet journaling. I'm just working out how to create them and, what I want to do, but they are coming. It is something that I'm working on. It's just going to take me a little while because I have so many things on my plate that it just takes me a bit to get there. But here you can see I'm going to use my slide trimmer and I'm going to line it up and just kind of cut around where I would have needed to cut for the first square, and it will contour that really nicely. I did actually mess up a little bit. It is harder, I find, to hold these small strips in. So you can see I'm struggling a little bit. You could bust out your scissors if you wanted to. But here you can see that I misjudged the cut just a little bit. So there's like a sliver at the top that I didn't really want there. And I'm going to fix that by actually cutting the sliver out of the pattern paper and adding it because I can. So here I'm just going to measure it out, cut myself a little strip off of the top of that. And the easiest way I've found for this is just to use a pencil, which is what I'm using, and then cut from there. So like here you're going to see me try to cut this tiny little strip so that I can fill it in. it didn't work on the slide trimmer because it's so small, it just kept sliding around. So I just busted out my scissors, and that is how I ended up cutting that. And I'm going to make this mistake a few times, but honestly, you can't really tell. Like, you guys know because you're watching me do it, but in the actual like flip through later, I don't really think it's easily noticeable. You'll have to tell me when you guys see it here in a minute, but well, when we get to the end of the video, let's, 20 minutes, but you'll have to tell me if it was super obvious or not as you kind of work through this. So I am going to keep kind of working on it. So every time you see me cut something, it will be because I've used a pencil, I've drawn it out on the paper, and then that's what I'm cutting. So here I've just cut that tiny strip to fit in that square that I miscut on the top, and you can't even tell again like that even happened because I am pulling it from the exact area that it would have been on the pattern paper. So it just continues the design. Now, if you're holding it up, you can see the seams of what I've kind of done there, but honestly, unless you're really looking, you can't see them. And I hope that you guys will take this as inspiration that you could use for like an art journal layout or, really anything that you are kind of working on. I'm creating a bullet journal, but if that's not something you are creating, use these ideas for something else. I mean, I think this pattern paper would have made a stunning card design. I went towards, a bullet journal, obviously, but I think it would be stunning as a card design. So keep that in mind. If you have a beautiful pattern paper, bust it out and do something fun with it. Because I don't know, pattern papers are just a lot of fun. I'm really bad though. I collect them and then I like look at them and I pet them and then I put them back because I struggle a bit with card designs with pattern papers, but I do love them because they're stunning. And Craft a Clock makes stunning pattern papers. You guys know because I use them all the time. And I don't even know how to link to them because like my local company brings them in, my local scrapbooking store, they bring them in and I get to go and pick, the ones that I love. But they're not really available online as far as I can tell. So you'd have to ask your local store if maybe they get them in where they wholesale buy from. You might be able to get some that way. So if you love the papers as much as I do, definitely ask. It can't hurt. Like if you're in Canada, my local scrapbooking store, they actually do sell stuff online. So, you might be able to get them, that kind of thing. Make sure you ask, because if you find something you love, there's no reason you can't have it. It just might be a bit of a chore to find it, but totally worth it. So here you saw me bring in my mini sheets, the days of the week in teal. So I used that for like the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday at the top. And then I brought in my yellow ombre numbers so that I could use that for the numbers for the month. I am going to stick with a teal and yellow design throughout just because I love that look and the pattern paper. I think it's stunning. And of course, these sticker sheets are available on my Etsy shop. I always have the links if you're at all interested. I have the links to everything always listed down below in a video description. So if you ever have any, you're wondering where something came from or where it is, it's in the description pretty much always, unless, I had, a mind melt and I forgot to put it, in which case just leave me a comment and I will let you know who it's from or where I got it or if it's something maybe you can't purchase anymore. So this is the ephemera that I cut out. I love Craft a Clock because they come out with 12 by 12, 8 by 8 papers, and they have ephemera papers as well. You do have to fussy cut them, but for me, honestly, first of all, they give you a border. So they're really easy to fussy cut if you don't mind fussy cutting. And they have stunning designs. So like the dragonflies were in the ephemera, the butterflies were in the ephemera, the frame, the flowers, like all of this was from an ephemera pack that I just fussy cut. And I like to do it in the evenings. Like I'll sit with my husband, we'll sit on the couch after dinner or whatnot, and he might play video games, or we might watch a show or whatever we happen to be doing, and I will just fussy cut. That's, it's kind of relaxing, and it's easy with this because it does have an outline and a different color. So and they're double-sided. So on one side you get the image, and then the other side it'll be the image like mirrored, and then it'll have a different color around it so that it gives you like a white border, and it's really, really easy to fussy cut. So keep that in mind if that's of interest to you. And you guys know I love butterflies. They happen to be one of my favorite elements in everything. I love them. so I do tend towards them if I can. So I did put them on the page, and then you're going to see later when I show you, I did add a little bit more bling and decoration to the front. I just didn't record it, so we'll kind of come back to that. I did use a couple of my sparkle stickers, and I did use a glitter pen too, actually on the front cover, which I'll show you here later. So now we're going into my content and meals and tasks planner. This is like a design I have done before. I love the geometric shapes. I think it's just such a fun page to flip through. So I do kind of lean towards doing these kind of geometric designs for this page because it's kind of a fun way to separate out the space. So on the left-hand side, I have my meals page, and I have, the dates numbered out. So like September has 30 days or 31 days, whatever. I think it is 30 days. And I will, write out the numbers so that I can write out the meals that we're going to have. I like to do this because I don't enjoy wasting food. That really bothers me. So if I'm going to buy, a head of lettuce, or I'm going to buy, whatever, it's usually vegetables or fruit. I want to make sure that I have them planned into meals so that we eat them. I don't enjoy throwing out food, and groceries aren't inexpensive, so I like to use the things that we buy. So I kind of keep an eye on that. So I like to plan out my meals, and then I plan out a shopping list as well, and I go and do like one shop a week, and I get all the dinner groceries, and then we kind of go from there. And that's it's an easy way for us to stay on top of, what food we have in the house, making sure that we're eating the food we have in the house, and having like variation in the dinners, because cooking dinner can be a bit... It starts to feel a little bit tedious. Thankfully, my husband loves to cook, so it's not generally me doing the majority of the cooking, but we do switch on and off so that it's not just one person doing it. But it is one of those things that this makes it easier, and it works for us. But if that's not something you would need in your planner, you could change that into so many things. It could be a finance tracker. It could be a habit tracker. It could be there's so many. You could do one line a day where you write one good thing that happened every day, or there's so many ways you could change that to be useful for you, depending on what it is you would need. Now I've gone and drawn out the other lines for this because I said it was geometric shapes, and I'm sorry about my head popping in the way there for a minute. I did have to clean this up. I don't have all the tools I would normally have, so my lines were a bit wonky. So I just brought in my white gel pen, and I just cleaned up the areas that, I went over, I went too far, or my pen skipped and I needed to clean it up. And this works really well, shockingly. It cleans it up beautifully. You can't even really tell. And I love that. So that's kind of something that's been great with this white paper. If you guys followed my bullet journal, my first bullet journal from last year, it was actually on cream paper, and I couldn't do that. And it really bothered me that I couldn't try to clean up my mistakes. So this has been great. And then I brought in the TomBow dual brush pen. I don't remember what color this is. I'm trying to look at my notes and see what color I wrote down. Oh, 991 is the name of this color. And again, it's linked down below if you want to check it out. But I thought it would be really fun to do the lines. I like to line every second row because it's easier to write, and it just gives you more of a pop of color on the page. I tend towards vibrant colors. I think a lot of people I've seen in the bullet journaling world, they kind of tend to go with more like a light gray or, those kind of things. I like vibrant colors, so I tend towards the vibrant markers, but you could do this in any color way you wanted to. And then I'm sorry that my memory was full. My phone's been acting up. You guys know I do all of my videos on my phone, and my camera was full, I guess, or my memory was full. So I was recording the stickers here. So this is my medium stickers in teal, and then I have my small stickers on the right-hand side in teal as well. And it died and would not record the footage. So I did not get to record, but it was just me putting down stickers. You guys have seen me do that before. And of course, like I said, all of my stickers are available if you're interested in any of them. I have links down below. You can check them out. And then I just added a little bit more of the ephemera in here. I don't need the whole space. And it's kind of fun to just have little pops of the colors and different images just to look at as I'm filling them out. I do kind of like that. And of course, I always do a flip through. Like in January of 2026, I will do a flip through of the journal, so you can kind of check it out. Now, I skipped a page there before I jumped into my weeklies. I have a doodle page. I haven't been showing it because it's just a grid with 30 boxes in pencil. Like, there's nothing to see until after I've actually gone in and doodled in it. So you'll see that in the flip through, but there's nothing really to look at until then, right? So there's not much to see. Now, I decided that I really wanted to do this kind of trimmed weekly spread. So I have the center of the book that's going to be, I don't know what this spread is called. I'm sure there's a name for it, but I don't know what it is. And normally I would use my knife, but I don't know where my metal ruler is. I would never cut with a craft knife against a plastic ruler, So I had to bring out my scissors. And I'm just doing the best that I can here. And then I'm going to bring my craft knife in just to remove the page beside the binding because it's a little more delicate. It's easier to cut thin areas with it. So I didn't want to use my scissors and then potentially, cut a binding in the book or anything like that. So you're going to see me right here. I'm going to bring in my craft knife. You should probably put a mat behind it, but I'm giving it so little pressure to remove these strips that I wasn't cutting through multiple at a time, so it was okay. So I'm just going to cut off these little strips, and I'm only doing 4 weeks here. I will be adding the last week of September into October. It's just how the month falls, and I think it'll look better that way. I like to keep my weeks together, and I like to keep them as like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, just because my husband's days off are Sunday and Monday. So that ends up being my weekend, and I like to keep it together. I'm Canadian. That is how our calendar is laid out. But I know that a lot of people like to change it to a Monday start. Completely makes sense. Then they can keep their weekend together. That just doesn't really work for me. But the beautiful thing about bullet journaling is that it doesn't, you can do whatever you want. You want a Wednesday start? Go for it. It's your calendar. It's your spreads. You lay it out however you want, however it makes sense for your life. And then that's perfect. Nothing wrong with that. So I think that's just a really fun way to kind of make it your own and make it something that's super useful for your life. Now, I did cut down these strips from a different pattern paper in the same collection, and I just thought they were kind of fun. They're, just a fun texture to look at. And then I'm going to have my 4 weeks of weeklies, in the center of this little book. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to space them out to be 7 days. I don't have a space for notes or tasks when I do it like this. I think that's okay. Generally, I do like a tasks square because I like to put anything that I want to accomplish that week into that square, and then I divvy it up into the week. So maybe, I need to create a video. So maybe, Tuesday I'm going to, create a video, and then Wednesday I'm going to create a video, and then Thursday I'm going to edit both videos or whatever, however I want to lay out my stuff, or I need to work on sticker designs, or, I need to, whatever I happen to be working on. But I also don't mind just putting it in the day when I'm sitting there thinking about it. So I'll have my big task list in the front right after the calendar, and then I will kind of go through and add that into the weeks. So say, it's September, I have a market in October, I really need to be prepping for it if there's anything specific that I want to be doing. So I would break that down and be like, okay, well, throughout this week I'm going to work on, getting my sticker sheets cut and ready for this market, or I have X appointment coming up, or, I have X trip coming up, or, I need to, I have a doctor's appointment, whatever. I will break it down into the weeks and then make sure that I can visually easily see what's going on that day. And then I will break up, that I do say 2 videos a week. Well, I like to be ahead so that my members have a chance to, because they get early access to my videos, and I try to have my video up the same day as, the prior video has gone up. So on Monday, I like to have my Thursday video available for the members because they would have already watched Monday's video, Thursday. So I try to be really ahead on that. Honestly, with the reno, I'm so far behind on stuff that I'm struggling. I recorded this video specifically weeks ago, but I'm doing the voiceover and editing 2 days before it actually goes up just because I'm behind. So bear with me as I kind of work through this. We just let the cats back upstairs yesterday being for me Monday, not Wednesday, bear with me, time is confusing. But because of the reno, we had to have the cats like locked into our downstairs so they couldn't get in the paint or couldn't get in the way of the flooring being done, or, you know, we had to rip all the trim and I had to paint all the trim. Like, it's just, we only just let them back up yesterday and we haven't put the trim back up. I have one more window trim to paint. It's just, and this has been over a month now that we've been kind of working through this. So bear with me. I'm almost back up to where I need to be, but it's one of those things where I just, oh boy, I'm working on it. So I'm a little late, but generally members get to watch, at least the fan tier gets to watch videos early. So I do try to have them in advance. And then, so you can see here, I did the same little strips of color that I could kind of differentiate my days. And then I'm going to kind of put my days and weeks in so that I can have the numbers. So I have my teal set here. I did the 31st in the denim set because I did August with the denim colors. So I thought it would just be kind of fun, like the 31st belongs to August, not September. So I did it in a different color and then started with the first with my numbers here. And I opted to use the just the whole teal set. This is the script version. I also have a serif version if you prefer a more, traditional look to the words. I like both. I alternate between them quite often. And I just went through and I used the numbers and then I added the days of the week as well. I don't know, you guys, I love stickers and I don't even feel bad about it. It's funny, as you get older, people tend to have this reaction to things where, you're not allowed to like stickers because you're an adult, or you're not allowed to like whatever because you're an adult. And I'm kind of the opinion that like, you're allowed to like whatever you like. Like, people don't need to run around policing other people's hobbies. Like, it's just so funny. We get kind of judgmental as people get older, and I don't quite understand why, like if you like Pokemon or you like video games or you like comic books or you like stickers, like good for you. Adulting is hard. So if you have something that you really enjoy, don't let anybody make you feel bad about it, okay? You send them my way if someone's trying to be mean to you, because I'll set them straight for you. But I am telling you, you are allowed to be interested in whatever your interests are, and it's perfectly okay. As long as, they're not hurting anybody else, you are allowed to do whatever you want to do. So just, enjoy what you enjoy. I mean, I play video games, not so much now because I'm pretty busy with trying to run my little business and, everything with that renos and all the stuff. But like, I play video games. I love Stardew Valley. It's one of my favorite things ever. I read a lot. I'm an avid reader. I, run my little sticker business. I do all sorts of creative, crafty things all the time. And sometimes people are like, oh, so what do you do for work? And I try to explain that to them, and you should see the looks sometimes. Like, it's always a little interesting, trying to kind of explain that to people. But you know what? Just do what makes you happy, because life is short and you only get one go. So do what makes you happy. You have my permission. And if anybody tells you you aren't, you point them in my direction and I'll set them straight for you, because you are allowed. So I did all the stickers there. And then I added these two other pieces of ephemera just because I could. I mean, I can work around them. They only sit a little bit. Like, this one barely is on the page. And then the other one's on a Wednesday. Like, I can write beside it. No problem. And then here you can see I did go back in and I added some of my black sparkles to the page. And I also brought in a clear glitter pen and I added it to the center of the butterflies and the dragonflies. And I also added a little gem to the butterflies. But that is the whole spread I have for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you'll, consider subscribing if you haven't already. I do new videos every Monday and Thursday. And of course, I have some fun stuff coming up. Like, I do have, the 12 Weeks of Christmas series starts in October. I'm going to do some fall and Halloween stuff throughout September. I think I have some fun stuff coming up. So make sure you stay tuned if that's something of interest to you. And leave me... Ooh, what are we going to do? If there's a dragonfly emoji, leave that in your comment if you made it all the way to the end of the video. And if you did, thank you so, so much. I really, really appreciate you guys. So thank you so much, and I will see you again very soon. Bye-bye for now.